I'm Christine Parkinson, and I buy wine for the Hakkasan group of restaurants. Okay, so this process today has been completely different from anything I've ever been near, actually. Normally I buy wine from distributors who show me samples, or occasionally I get to go on trips and visit vineyards, that kind of thing. I've never been in a situation where I'm alongside buyers from all the other sectors, the supermarkets, some of my competitors, and restaurants, and pubs and independents, and it's almost like a talent contest. We're looking at these wines, and the chance is there and then to say, I'm interested in this. And of course, the tough bit is you might have to say, no, this is just not making it at all. So.
And again, on that point, so we've got a lot of power behind the judges. But again, for the contestants to come here and to pitch to you, just give me again a sense of how maybe brave that is.
I think it is really brave because, to be honest, I think not all of them realised quite the firepower they were facing, both in terms of the sheer buying power of some of my colleagues around the table, and even ours is quite decent, but also in terms of the brutal honesty they were going to get from people. So I think, yes, to come to a country that you're not exporting to, and to have the cameras trained on you while you stand up there and a bunch of buyers writes down your every word and then asks you these questions, I think it's tough, and I think it goes beyond that 3 minutes. I think it's exposing your wine and your brand and your winery and perhaps your family business and perhaps something you're passionate about yourself. It's exposing it in quite an unforgiving arena.
We had a lot of feedback from people today, and again, your feedback was crucial. Again, there's lots of different parts of the industry around that judging table. How important do you think it is for you to give the feedback, and then B, for those, a lot of people were really keen to hear your feedback. Give us a sense of why that's important for these people.
Well, just firstly, I want to say, if somebody's opened a bottle of their precious wine that they've made, then I think they're entitled to feedback, because that wine has a value to them, and I think they're entitled to hear what we think. I realised during the process that quite a few people hadn't exported their wine into the UK before, and they didn't necessarily know very much about how this market works, or who they would be competing with, or what the price points were. So I think, especially if you're a small producer, it must be very hard to do the level of research to find those things out when you're busy, making your wine or trying to sell it. So I'm guessing that for some people to actually come here and be told clearly, that this is a good product, but that price is an issue, or this label is an issue, or whatever, I guess it was quite valuable. I hope it was.
And of the sort of, some wines were good, some wines not so good. Just give me your sort of thoughts on the top sort of few that came through today.
Well, for me, obviously, I'm looking for wines that will work in restaurants at the top end. And so I was looking for very high quality wines with hopefully a point of difference, but also some sense of place and importantly, a story. So my star wine, really my star winery, if you like, of this competition was one called Maza in Western Australia, with Australian wines, but grape varieties that we associate with Spain and Portugal. So I don't have anything like that on the wine lists. And I know, very importantly, I know that my teams in the restaurant would be quite excited to have wines like that. So, it works. And there were some good wines. There were some wines I liked from New Zealand, but I wasn't, quite sure how I was going to use them. I liked some wines from Uruguay, so there was a very strong selection from the New World. And I was also keen on some Portuguese wines. We had a terrific selection of Portuguese wines to look at, and one of the producers stood out very much to me. And finally, the Verdicchios were from Italy. They were terrific. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. I think that's it.
Pleasure.
Thank you.